Okay, NXT. Now, let's make this clear. You see the title. I'm telling you right now, what we got here is a rare occurrence. We actually got a Shawn Michaels booking. Now, I'm not saying it was 100% Shawn's booking. It wasn't. I say maybe 75-20. 75 is Shawn, 25 is Vince. Because there's certain things that Vince ordered him to do. Because it's obvious that certain things that happened in this show was ordered and he had to make it work. But when you see the parts that's 25, maybe Vince easily, and the rest is 75 is Shawn Michaels, the show flowed much better. The matches made more sense. The storylines, which are not all great, because it is 101 booking. I want to make this clear because not everyone's going to understand what I mean. When it comes to Shawn Michaels, he books basic. Understand what I'm saying? He does basic booking. He's not doing something extraordinary like a Triple H would. He wouldn't do over the top and really crappy booking that Vince McMahon normally does. Like I've been saying for a year now, more than a year. Shawn Michaels will take a little bit of Triple H, a little bit of Vince, smush them together, add his own flavor on top of it, and that is NXT 2.5. It should be 3.0, but it's 2.5 because Vince is still controlling it. Opening, Axiom versus Ali. Now, we already know the way that Ali's been acting, it is obvious that he's going to eventually turn heel. Now, I had to remind myself, I'm not going to lie about this because I forgot because of how the booking's been when it was with Tyler Bates, when it was with Wesley, which I'll get to in a minute when he seems so pissed, and in particular with Dijak. When you see it, we know Mustafa Ali is going to eventually become heelish. Kind of like a Bo Dallas, who believed, but he was a heel, but he was acting so positive all the time. This is where I think they're going to go. The match flowed very well, but it was obvious that this was staged. I'm not saying that Vince told not Triple H, but how can I say this? This was a progression that was eventually going to happen with Mustafa Ali. But I do believe that Vince told Shawn, get it done now. I don't believe that this would be done now. It needs more time. But it feels like it's beginning to be rushed. That's what it feels like. It's now beginning to feel rushed a little bit. And Shawn had to make it work. That's the reason why Axiom out of nowhere started loosening up his mask. Because his mask, if you don't know, luchadors' masks are usually put into knots in their helmet. How am I going to say this helmet? Look, you guys know that with luchador masks, they try to keep them on. It is an insult for them to easily pop off. Unless it's part of a story. In America, Mexico is very rare. They don't always remove their masks. Unless it's something special. Here in America, it happens more times than not. Axiom literally had to loosen his mask to make it easier for Ali to pull it up. And make it easier for him to shove him down and hit the floor real hard so he can get in the ring and pin him. That is obvious. This had to be a mandate from Vince, but it was structured by a Shawn Michaels. And I have to say, it wasn't bad structure, but it was the way it was. Now, this next match, Davenport versus Kiani Jordan. I believe her name is Kiani Jordan. This match was not good. I'm going to be honest here. When it comes to Jordan, she just is not ready yet. She's sloppy in the ring. And then Davenport has to try and pick up the slack for that. And from what I've seen of Davenport, she's a good wrestler, but not all the time can she pick up the slack for somebody else, from what I can tell. And this wasn't even about Davenport. This was not even about... This was a Vince order. This was a Vince booking because of Dana Brooks. Because once Jordan got her ass whooped and Davenport was beginning to beat her up because she kept beating up on her. You get literally running into the ring because she was at ringside with a belt, a Dana Brooke trying to hit Davenport, and she was just so angry. She was just waving at anybody and eventually was about to hit Jordan. And the kicker here is afterwards, in the back, she's telling Jordan, you need to get better. You need to have that killer instinct. You need this. And she said, look, I'm doing my best. This is only my third match at all. I don't know what my killer instinct is yet. I still need time. It is only a third match. But the way they're structuring this, it's still about Dana Brooke. And now Dana Brooke is going up against Davenport. Supposedly the new Dana Brooke, who has not been constructed correctly, who has been rushed by Vince to be on that roster, it feels forced and it's garbage. And I don't see this anything other than being about Dana Brooke either losing and getting the spotlight or winning and getting the spotlight. And it does not help Davenport and it does not help Jordan. And I want to make this clear, because maybe someone will show this to Dana Brooke. And Dana, if you do see this, I'm not a huge fan of yours, but I do respect you for the hard work you did during the 24/7 era, as well as all the other times when you work with Titus O'Neil, when you work with Apollo Crews, you bust your ass to work with what you had in your hand. I understand it. But in this situation, it's not looking good for you. Because even though you're getting a spotlight, I'm hoping you're getting something out of it. I'm hoping you're being more happy and more productive. But I don't think this is really great for you, because it's not really giving you the opportunity to be the way you want. You're not getting constructed correctly. I'm just saying. Now, I'm going to do this match now because it came later in the night. We had Kiana James versus Ivy Nile. Now, I want to make this clear. Through most of the night, Schism was literally looking for the Creeds. They beat up on Tank and Hank. They mess with the tag champs. They just want the Creeds. They don't care. They don't care who they're going to hurt. They don't care who they're going to scare. They just want them. And they already, before this match, bothered the tag champs. The family of D'Angelo and the Underboss. I love them. They've been constructed very well. And I'm so glad that HBK has managed to keep them decently constructed in their character. The development can be questioned, yeah. I don't agree with what happened before the Great American Bash. I think the Great American Bash should have been when the Underboss won the freedom of D'Angelo. That's what I feel like it should have happened there. That would have been a better payoff, but I can understand why not. They just wanted to give them the tag champs, and they thought they would do it here instead of waiting until the next pay-per-view. I'm just saying. But the match was okay. They're slamming on the mat, calling the Creed's name. Eventually, Kiana James did win because of distraction due to Ivy Alvarez. The reason I'm botching here is I still don't feel her. I'm sorry, I don't. But when it was all over and they were going into the ring and they're about to mess with Ivy now, and the females, remember, they got females now in the Schism as well as males. Great. They're wearing the mask. You got the family coming out defending her. Now, does this make sense? To a certain point, yes. Since the family is good guys, they're going to come out and try and save another good guy, and that is Ivy Nile. But the question is going to be, how far is this pairing of Ivy Nile, the Underboss, and Stax is going to be dealing with Schism? I don't know. It does make some sense because Schism is messing with the family, and Alvarez has messed with Ivy Nile. It does make sense. I'm not saying it doesn't. But I'm wondering how they're going to keep booking it going forward, because I don't think this is going to be over with just one match. Now, the Heritage Cup. Nolan Dar versus Tyler Bates. We had basically 5 matches. Now, you already know the rules, so I'm not going to explain it to you. But this is about the fake cup going on the line for the fake champion against a opponent who played it clean enough. First round, it was dead even. It was actually pretty good. I liked the first round more than the second or the third. Now, the second round, Tyler Bates did get the pin. He did. The fourth round, because the third round, they tied again. Nothing happened. The fourth round, you got Nolan Dar doing a submission. What was it? I forgot which submission was it. A knee bar, I believe. I can't remember which one was it. But he did use it, and he held it on a long time just to screw with Tyler Bates. But once the next match happened, Tyler won. Even though it might be questionable, he won. And get this, Metaphor comes to him and say, you better get back that damn title. Well, not title, but the cup. You don't deserve that cup. It is not your cup. And they say, I just won it fair and square. Even though the ref didn't 100% see, I won. I didn't lose. Nolan Dar did. And they're saying, you need to give it back. It's his support. You need to give it back. And then Frazier comes in with the actual cup and says simply, what is this? You want that cup? You don't deserve it because Tyler beat you. But that's if. And that's if it's a real cup. If it's a real Heritage Cup. And Nolan Dar is really desperate to get his cup back. So Frazier said this. Okay, I'll tell you what. Tyler will give it back to you. But you have to admit that it's fake. And he said, no, I admit nothing. But then Frazier said, okay. Tyler will give it back to you. You say it's fake. And then I will give you a shot at my cup. He didn't say it was fake. He said pretty much, I don't need to say it's fake because I never lost because Mercer lost. He's the one that lost the damn thing. And Mercer's getting thrown under the bus. But Frazier took it. And he says, okay. Tyler, give it back. And I will give you your shot. I think he said it, Heat Wave or next week. I can't remember. I think it's Heat Wave. He'll let him have a shot at it. But then he said, and I love this, he said, and that's Tyler. He said, yeah, I know. I owe you one. He said, yeah. So maybe when this is all said and done, Tyler's going up against Frazier to get the Heritage Cup. That's what I feel. Now, Braun Breaker versus Von Wagner. Now, I didn't expect this to be other than Von Wagner getting his ass handed to him, and he did. But what made it interesting, which was good booking, because Von Wagner, at this point, because of his actual real-life story about his head, about his skull being fused, and he had to have surgery to loosen it up so his brain can expand. If you didn't see this, guys, look on the YouTube channel for there's going to be a video package of Von Wagner talking about it, so go look at that. But I didn't expect the fans to be that into Von Wagner now that he's turned. Because when it was all over and Braun beat him, Braun grabbed Mr. Stone, ready to whoop that ass. But guess what? Von Wagner managed to get him and then threw him through the damn table. And you see Von going like this. And he overdid it. He hammed it up just a little too much. But that means one of three things. Well, three things. But there is one major one. First one, fans were cheering, which is a great thing for Von Wagner. Two, Mrs. Stone and Von Wagner are also over. Because it wasn't just Von that was over. It was Mrs. Stone being over because everyone really did like him because of what he did. Because he hugged Von. He ripped his shirt open. He said, that's it. That's what you get. Great. But then you see what this is all about. This is about getting Von Wagner over and using a Braun Breaker to do it. And I don't know how far they're going to go with this. Because if they go really far with this and bury Braun a little bit, that means he might be going to the main roster. And that's the third one. I'm sorry. Von and Stone is one. Two, helping Von to get over. And three, there's a strong possibility that Braun Breaker very soon will be going to the main roster because he's going to try and put over a Von Wagner to really build him up. That's a possibility. Now, vid packs. I'm going to say this. Eddie Thorpe's vid pack, finally I felt something. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, Great Spirit of the Earth. For me, I may be mixed. I still follow the Great Spirit. I follow as much as possible the ancestors. I'm not perfect. I don't know a lot. But I do know about the Great Spirit. I know about the journey. And I know what he was showing touched me. When you see Chief J Strongbow, you see Tatanka, you see people who always eventually must show their heritage. Eddie Thorpe didn't show it. Yes, he shows his jacket, he shows his earrings, he shows the dream catcher around his neck. But to really see it in a vid pack, seeing that the spirit of the wolf is there, seeing the forest, seeing him talk about how he has to focus and he has to now deal with Dijak. This is something that means a lot to me personally, because now you can see the heritage of the Great Spirit. Now, not everyone's going to be interested in it. They're going to say, oh, mystical stuff. Then we have already the... what about Valkyria? What about Aladon? What about a Owl of a Fire? Who wants to see this stuff? I know not everyone's into it, but some people do. It means a lot. Look at the Ultimate Warrior when he talks about the ancestors. That's what he's tapping into. I'm just saying. Now, Briggs and Jensen versus Drew and Charlie Dempsey. Was this important? No. But then, kind of yes, because of what happened with Trick Williams and Dragunov. And I'm going to get to that, as well as Thea Hall. I will get to that right now. But I don't think it really mattered much, due to the fact they're just bringing in another two guys, which is Damon Kemp, who actually just helped them win the match, and then Bowman, I believe his name is. And he's basically a lackey that probably will turn on them and try to kick their ass eventually. I'm not really feeling Bowman, but it's the first time I've seen him. But when you see this, you get the thought of thinking about what happened with Trick Williams, because Trick is now going to have a match with Drew. So that'll be next week. But let's put this in perspective. When I saw Trick Williams and Dragunov, because Dragunov said he was going to the ring and he's going to talk to Trick, I'm going like, okay, maybe there'll be a fight in the ring. But no, there was a talk, which wasn't that bad. It did feel a bit rehearsed. Yes, when it came to Trick, he flowed a little bit better at certain points, and Dragunov flowed better in other parts. But it was like at certain parts, this is where Trick was rehearsed, and this is where Dragunov was rehearsed. And when it came to the verse, each one of them did flow very well. But now we're getting a regular match, which I think it should be a stipulation match. It should be a match that is about showing how tough Trick is, because that's what he was talking about. He's no one's sidekick. He wants to prove it. And Dragunov said, I respect you, but I'm going to destroy you. You know what you've done. You cost me the damn title. And he says, no, I did not. You tried to headbutt me, and you hit the damn title with your own damn head. But I do believe they need a stipulation to the match, and it's either going to be... I don't know if Falls Count Anywhere will be good for that situation. I think it's a last man standing match to really help Trick to show what he can do. I think that's what they need. A last man standings match. But will they go there? I don't know. Now, what's left? I think if there's anything else I'm missing, I'm sorry. I'm going to leave certain things out. But the last thing I'm going to talk about is the North American Championship. Dragon Lee versus a Dirty Dom. We got Mommy on one side. We got Ray on the other. Ray did 3 segments. First segment, talking with Dragon Lee in the car. Second segment was with Thea Hall, who had a moment with probably someone she loves in a Rey Mysterio, who gave her a good pep talk. But also, even though she had a great pep talk and she's like, yeah, she's still mad at Andre Chase. So she made it very clear that Ray would never throw in the towel, and Andre is still pissed. But she did hear him say how she felt about family. So my guess is, again, that she will be going with Dempsey and Drew eventually. She's going to leave Chase U, I believe, eventually. She just can't stand them now. But that was the second segment. The third one was just before the match when he introduced the Dragon Lee, which I felt was a good thing that they balanced it out. And we only had one segment for Judgment Day. In other words, Dirty Dom and Rhea Ripley, which I'm very happy about because that was with Laura Valkyria, and that was just before the match. Match wasn't bad. In the end, Dirty Dom won because of Rhea saving his ass by hitting the back of the head with Dragon Lee with her title. They won. Well, both of them won because she got her Dirty Dom to win. But then, once that was over, Valkyria comes out after they start messing with Rey because Rey was getting poked by Rhea Ripley, and it's Valkyria basically trying to whoop that ass. And then we see also Dirty Dom getting his ass whooped by Dragon Lee as well. And you see Rey holding both their arms up, which I appreciate because the last couple of months you could tell the difference that the ones on NXT was not the goal here. Look what happened with Trick Williams. He lost twice, once on Raw and on NXT for no reason other than put Judgment Day over. And it didn't help him other. What did we get here for a Mello? Nothing. Look, we got more with Wes Lee than we got with Mello. We didn't get anything out of this. He didn't. Yeah, Dijak faced him, but it didn't really help him. So you could tell that some of this is still off balance. And I'm telling you right now, some of that is due to Vince's booking. Vince gave an order to book a certain way, and Shawn Michaels had to book it. But you can tell it's 75-25. This is Shawn Michaels. This was Vince. You could tell there had been some type of input. But it's flowed better. It felt more interesting. I'm not saying it was perfect, but it was a Shawn Michaels booking. It was, at least for most of the part. And I'm glad to see that. And I hope you enjoy this. Just leave a comment below. I'm not going to put any images in here for this video, but I'm going to see if I can continue putting images, more videos, more often. Peace.